Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We're creating another great carousel here with a fantastic WowCarousel plugin, and you can find the link below the video. WowCarousel lets you make carousels out of just about anything. We recently done one with a card carousel. This is a team member carousel right here, and obviously you've got a team member picture, name, title, bit about them. And the great thing about this is you can add their website, email, social media links and telephone number, and it's all clickable to take your visitors where you want to take them. And it's automated, and it highlights one in the middle. That's the way we've got it set up today. Really easy to do, so let's get started. I'm going to enable my visual builder, and I'm simply going to go down and delete this whole section. And we've got nothing on this page now. I'm going to insert a row with a single column. Divi comes as standard with all the light grey modules here, plenty to build just about any site. When you add the Wow Carousel, you get all these different carousel modules, and like I say, you can make a carousel out of just about anything, and there's some fantastic ones that here there really are. Product carousels are great if you've got WooCommerce. We recently did the card carousel, which was up there. Today we're going to use the team carousel right here, so I'm going to left click on that. It's going to prompt us to add a new item. So let's add some content. First tab, we're under the content and the content drop down here. We want to add an image, and as this is a team member, we'll start with some people. Down below we've got the alt text. Now alt text should be really used for a description of the image that it's displaying. As it's for sight impaired people that use screen readers, it'll read it out to them, but a lot of people use it for SEO and geolocation data, keywords, etc. Not sure how effective that is nowadays, but that's an option for you. So I'm going to just describe the photo, and we'll call her Jane Smith. And let's say she's the CEO. Down below we've got a member bio. I'm going to go over to lipsum.com and get some lorem ipsum here. And let's just grab a bit of dummy text here. Don't want too much content. And we'll put that in there. Obviously you'd have something real to say about your team member. Okay, and now we can add some social links. This is a great feature if you want to be able to contact your people and show them their Facebook pages, etc. Website URL, I really haven't got one, so I'll just put a hashtag in. And when I do, you're going to see the little icon pop up there. I'll do the same for the email. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. And let's use a phone number right there. Obviously you'd put in the phone number. And that pops up there. Great. Down below here we've actually got tab content. I'm not going to be using this on this particular carousel today, but I'll show you what it does. If you click on here, we'll put in the title. And let's put in her position right there. Add the little thumbnail. Like I say, we're not going to be using this today, but it is a great feature if you do decide it on styling your carousel. Okay, so that's the tab. Don't want to link it to anything. If she's got a personal page, you could link the whole module to there or something like that. Background wise, let's just interest it up slightly. You've got all the normal things here: color, gradient, image or video. Let's use a color. I'm going to use the little drop down, 3 little dots here. Let's choose one of these colors. Let's go for a light blue. There we go. Okay, so this is the basis of our first person module. So let's go over to our design tab now. We'll go to common, content alignment. I want everything in the middle, and that text and the icons will all bounce to the middle there. We can give it a little padding. I'll give it a bit of space all around. Let's say 25 pixels. Just put in the 25, it'll put in the pics. Hit the chain, it'll do the opposite side for you. And the same with the left and right. I don't want any rounded corners. If you want to put rounded corners on, just put a value in there and it'll start rounding the corners. Higher values obviously give you more rounded and lower values less rounded. Let's pop a little border on. You can do all four at once, so you can do top, right, bottom or left. So we'll give it a pixel. And there it is. I'm going to leave it just like that. You can choose your border color if you want. I'm going to leave it on the default. And you've got border styles, solid, dashed, dotted, etc. The usual sort of CSS styles you've got for borders there. You can manipulate the photo underneath here. Image width, image height. Let's take it down a little bit. Put it to where you want it. Want it to be in the middle. You can use a hover animation. There's plenty to choose from if you want. As you can see, that zooms in there. And there's plenty of different ones to choose from if you want to play with them. I'm happy with the spacing at the bottom there, so I'm not going to change image spacing, and I don't want to give it any rounded corners. Just for demo purposes, I'll put in, just to show you, and that rounds off that thing, but because we've got a frame and a background, that really doesn't work too well for me. I mean, you could go crazy high, just to demonstrate it further. But again, I'm happy with it not to have any rounded corners. As long as you've got this checked right here, it'll do all four at once, or you can do it separately to create some crazy effects. I'm going to just delete that. And common to most Divi modules, if you do something you don't like it, if you delete it, it'll go back to the default state for you. Now let's just put a little border on the bottom of this one too. So I'm selecting bottom right there, and we'll give it another 1 pixel right there, just to frame it a little bit. Okay, you can have an overlay if you want to. I don't particularly want to on mine. You can perhaps just have one on hover. And common again to most Divi modules, if you hover over the dark writing up here, some icons will appear. If there's an arrow there, you can set a regular state, which is called desktop when your mouse is not on it, and a hover state when your mouse is on it. We could perhaps put a color on there when we hover on it. And obviously we don't want to blank out her face, so I'm going to click on the color, pull the opacity down, so we can see enough of her. And we can add a little icon if you want to. I really don't particularly want to put this on, I'm just demoing it for you. And we've got plenty of icons to choose from. As you can see, it's put a little icon in there. And let's make that icon white. And if we go back to the non-hover state, we got the icon there, and we got that little overlay. But again, I really don't want that on there. I'm happy with it just to zoom in and out. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that color on hover. Just hit the little trash can, it'll get rid of it. And let's get rid of icon. Just simply made it transparent. Okay, let's move on down. Here's our text down below. We've got name, job title and bio. Not going to change too much here. Divi comes with a crazy amount of fonts. If you want to play with them, just go in there, hover over, and it'll show you an example of what the font's going to look like. I'm going to leave mine on the default today. I want it a little heavier for the actual name itself, so let's go semi-bold. And let's make that white in color. And I'm going to do something similar for the job title. I do actually want to pull that down a bit from the name. It's a little close to the name for me. So what I'm going to do is roll down a bit to line height. And that gives it extra space top and bottom. So maybe a little bit, something like that. That's better. Great. And let's go up. And last thing we got is the content, or the bio itself. And again, I'm just going to make that white so it stands out. Fantastic. Here's our social links down below. Let's make the icon color white. You can choose to have them on the top, center, or the bottom. I'm going to leave mine on the bottom there. I'm going to make the actual icon white. As you can see, that's toned white. And let's give it a different background color. And again, you can change the color on hover if you want by hitting the little arrow and giving it a different color on hover right there. Okay. Sizing, spacing, box shadow, filters. I'm happy with that. So let's call that first card done. So what I'm going to do, save. It'll take us back to the main carousel settings here. I'm going to duplicate this, say 5 times, so we've got 6 of them. And I'm just going to go in and change the image and name on some of these. Obviously you'd have real content, but I don't, so I'm just going to change a few things so we've got a real carousel. As you can see, it's automatically started moving there for us. So I'll pause this while I go in and change the names on these things and put different images in. Okay, well I've just put the last one in there, so we've got a few different people to look at. Before we do anything else, like going down in the carousel settings, I'm just going to make this row full width. So we've got a full width carousel, and I'll give the section a bit of a background. So let's start by saving this. I'm going to go up into my section, the blue tab, hit the little cog, going to give it a background color. Simply going to make it black. There we go. Now let's make this row full width here, the green tab for the row. Hit the little cog. We'll go over to design, sizing, width. I'm going to drag all the way up to 100%. I'm going to copy that, Control C, and paste it in the max width below, Control V, or you can type it in if you prefer. We've now got a full width little carousel going on there. Now those, I want to see more than that in there, so let's go in back into our carousel settings, down to carousel settings in the carousel. Animation speed is the time it takes for this one to get to here, 700 mils, that's fine. I want it to autoplay. I want to slow it down slightly, it's doing it every 2 seconds. I'm going to make it do it every 3 seconds. 3000 milliseconds. Don't want any navigation, those are the little arrows on the side there. I will have a bit of pagination, which is the dots at the bottom, so select what you want here. I'm just going to go for pagination. As you can see, it's turned up at the bottom there. Don't want to use fixed width slide because mine are all the same anyway. I'm going to show more than 3 because they're just huge there. I'm going to show 5. Now one thing you want to bear in mind here, if you've only got 5 members, this won't slide because there's nothing for it to go to. It's still filling out the form. So I've got 6, so it's going to roll around nicely. So that's looking more like I wanted to have it look. Slide spacing, they're far enough apart for me. I'm going to add a bit of spacing on the first and last item so they're not buffered up against the side. Just going to flip that to on. There we go, let's give them a bit of breathing room left and right there. I want it to infinitely loop, in other words go round and round and round. If you turn that off, it'll stop when it gets to the last ones. Now here's the tab. I don't know if you remember when we were setting up, we put some info in for the tab. This is great, I'm not going to use it on this, and when I flip this on, it's going to change to a single image on top, or a single card on top, and it's going to have some details on the bottom. So let's flip it. There we go, we've got an actual single unit on top here, and these are the tabs at the bottom here. And it's just going through the names, as I've got the same name for most of mine, it's obviously the same ones. And you can choose to have a title, subtitle, which we've got, and a thumbnail if you want to. But I really don't want to. So I'm going to turn that off. That is a useful feature, but we're not going to be using it today. And you can choose a number of items. We've got 3 at the moment there. But I'm going to turn that back off because it's not what I'm looking for today, but it is a great feature. Okay, so we're back where we were. Everything seems to be working fine. Don't want to do anything with the background. If you wanted to give it a crazy background color, you can do. I've already got my section colored, so just for example, I'll put a yellow in there so you can see what's going on. Gives it a yellow background. If you had padding top and bottom, it would give it a yellow outline too. But I really don't want that, so let's turn that off. And I think we're pretty much good to go here. I do want to change that pagination color because it's getting lost in the background there. So let's go back up to our carousel settings, and in the advanced this time we've gone through the general settings. Sliding CSS transitions fine. Lazy loading's great, that'll help your loading on your site when it comes into view. Auto height, don't need that because mine are all the same height. You might need to put that on if you've got different amounts of content in yours. Swipe, that's fine, we can make it swipe on tablets and mobiles. Number of items to scroll, well, it's doing one at a time, that works fine for me. It's just doing one, then the next one, then the next one. If you want to, you can go vertical with it. This will look a bit crazy with this because there'll be full width again, but if I put it on, it's going to slide in an upwards direction. But I don't want that today, but it is a nice feature for other sorts of carousels. Center mode, I am going to put that on because it'll keep one in the middle, and I'm going to make it highlighted. So there we go. The one that's in the middle is going to grow and highlight like that. I quite like that feature. Makes it stick out. And it's eye-catching. Wait for animate, we can use that on. Use a custom cursor. Well, you can change the cursor type if you want to. We've got that little cross going on there. You can change it to a grabber or something else if you want to. I'm leaving mine on the default. You can add spacing top and bottom. That's a wrapper spacing top and bottom right there. And you can choose to open the image in a lightbox if you want to. I'm not going to use that one today. We've got a little zoom thing going on, that's fine. And you, like I say, you can equalize the item height if there's different amounts of content in there. Not using tabs, so we don't need to look at that. So let's pop over to our design right here. Navigation, we've turned navigation off, but we do have pagination. And common ones are the white ones right there. I'm happy to leave those as they are. Let's make the active one, that's the one that's disappearing because it's black on black. Let's make that blue so it stands out. There we go, that's better. And we've got tab styles and tab elements here. We're not using those, but there's some great options for styling the tabs that we demoed before down there. So I'm happy with that. Let's save what we've got here. We'll go to the front end, save the page changes, save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit the visual builder. And there's our little carousel right there. It'll start animating. There we go, it's animating. And it's doing it every 3 seconds. It's taking 700 milliseconds to get from one to the other. We've got our little pagination at the bottom. We can select it and go back to the one we want by using that. We got our little zoom effect, and when we hover over this, thing's going to pause, and they can go to the website, email, Facebook, social icons there, and you can make that a live call button if you want to. As you can see, it's prompting me to call. If this was on a mobile, that would actually just say call this number, which is great. When we take the mouse off of it, it's going to start up again. And there we go. And that's a fantastic little thing to have on your site, whether it's in the hero section or somewhere down the page. It's going to get people's attention, and that's exactly what you want with a website. So once again, we've been using the WowCarousel plugin for this today, and you'll find the link below the video. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.